Win the election, we will immediately begin a brand new Trump economic boom. Vote Trump and your incomes will soar, your net worth will skyrocket. Groceries, cars, everything. We're going to get the prices down.
Welcome back to State of the Union. President Trump making a lot of promises on the campaign trail. Is the reality today different from what his voters expected? My panel joins me now. And let me talk to one of the two Trump voters we have at the table, Congresswoman Meliatakis. Do you think that there are Trump voters who might have some regret today, given what's going on in the markets with their 401ks?
Well, I think people are coming into this looking, look, the president has secured the border. Border crossings are down 95%. He is deporting tens of thousands of people who have been dangerous, including murderers from New York City. He is also making sure that, look, we've seen mortgage rates come down, inflation has come down, egg prices have come down. These are things you cannot ignore. It's been, he's brought home around a dozen hostages, people who were held overseas, and he, within 2 months, was able to get them back. So is there a little concern about the market? Absolutely there is. I think it is a little bit of a over-exaggeration by the market at this moment, and I would equate it to a little turbulence as you move to smooth skies. But you've seen trillions of dollars in investment. You've seen companies saying that they're going to expand operations here. And, of course, a great jobs report the other day, nearly 250,000 new jobs.
So, Congresswoman Skolton, go ahead.
A jobs report that came out before the market started crashing, and Americans lost $4 trillion in savings. You know, you can't ignore. You're talking about giving subsidies to farmers because you know how bad this is going to be. You know, America is losing under Trump. The American people are losing under Trump.
So let me just bring this up. Here's Trump's message to voters, if we can bring that up. This is an economic revolution, and we will win. Hang tough. It won't be easy, but the end result will be historic. Now, that is not the same message that we heard during the campaign.
Yeah, a little bit, though, Jake. If you go back, look at Donald Trump 35 years ago. Look at him on Oprah for 35, 40 years ago. Listen, Congresswoman, you can shake your head as much as you want. I'm from Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. I invite you to come to my hometown. I invite you to come to see where my dad worked, which is now a brownfield site. So who are we to blame for those jobs being offshored over the past 40 years?
David,
hold on. We did this Democratic and Republican.
From Michigan about brownfield.
Listen, you don't have to tell the Congresswoman from Michigan about brownfield sites.
Please, hold on.
I invite you to come to my district and listen to Republicans in my district who are saying they regret their vote.
Let me finish. Donald Trump is trying to rectify bad policy, Republican and Democratic policy, over the past 40 years. So it's going to be a little painful to get these jobs to come back. We've had policies which have encouraged manufacturing to go overseas. What do we have to do to encourage manufacturing to come back? That's what Donald Trump's trying to do. I guarantee you, if you told Americans, would you be willing to pay $1 more for tube socks if we made them in America? They would say, sure, we'll take that pain. And that's what's happening.
Maybe you and I would, David. I don't know that.
Jake, I think every American would do it because we want to make things.
We can afford it.
We want to make things. Listen, we want to make things in America. And if you explain to people, Jake, that $1.50 would go to their neighbors who are working in factories in America, they would take it day in and day out. I promise.
Again, I invite you to come.
I will go. Let's go. We'll go together. I'll come with you. You come to Aliquippa.
The town halls that we have been doing, where we are seeing Republicans and Democrats alike. I went to a county that Trump won by 20 points. Hundreds of people showing up and saying, I'm a Republican. I voted for Trump, and this is not what I voted for.
Let me just, one thing that's interesting, tech billionaire Elon Musk, first buddy, big Trump booster. He joined Italy's far-right League Party rally this weekend to give his take on the new Trump tariffs. Take a listen.
I hope it is agreed that both Europe and the United States should move, ideally, in my view, to a zero tariff situation, effectively creating a free trade zone between Europe and North America.
He also, on tweets this weekend, Jamal, seemed to be taking shots at Peter Navarro, who is obviously one of the masterminds of this tariff strategy beyond President Trump, of course. Is he diverging from the administration, you think, in this?
Well, it seems like Elon Musk is he's got sort of a funny position inside. We've heard about other conversations he's had with secretaries that haven't gone very well. He's usurping his powers and dipping into other people's departments. I think no one elected Elon Musk, the billionaire, the richest man in the world, who paid as much money as anybody's ever paid into a presidential campaign.
Donor.
Right, Trump's top campaign donor. I think nobody elected him, and people are kind of worried about this. What's happening right now is the uncertainty that the president and his administration are putting into the markets are wreaking havoc all over the place. We don't talk about this because we think about the richest people who own so much stock. But most Americans have stock in mutual funds, have stock in their 401ks. If you're about to retire and you see what's happening right now, this does not make you more confident. And I think there are a lot of people who are worried about it.
So, Congresswoman, obviously this is a very real issue for everybody, of course, but you're on the ballot in 2026. You have a little bit of time. But listen to Karl Rove, who wrote in the Wall Street Journal, if this Democratic enthusiasm edge persists in 2026, many swing district House Republicans will be in danger in the midterms. It'll be even worse if Mr. Trump and Republicans repeat one of Democrats' principal mistakes in the Biden presidency, insisting a bad economic policy is actually fine. Unfortunately for Republicans, with Mr. Trump's unrelenting emphasis on tariffs, he'll own all that flows from jacking up levies on imports. You're in a battleground district, as I know. I don't need to remind you. How concerned are you about this lasting longer than 30, 60, 90 days?
Look, I think people should see that this is the long game that he is trying to play here. He is trying to fix what has been broken for decades. Nancy Pelosi warned about this in 1996. She said very clearly, and at that time, you had a 35% trade deficit. It is now 35 billion, sorry. Now it's 10 times that. And so they did nothing then. Politicians have always worried about the next election instead of doing what was right to get this country on track. And so he's trying to fix something that will be prosperous for this country in the long run. As I mentioned, oil prices down, egg prices down, mortgage rates down. This is only 2 months of him being in office, and he has already corrected a lot of wrongs.
And look, there's other things coming, right? There's going to be tax relief coming. There's continued deregulation coming. It's a part of a broader plan. I think Americans will give the president. They'll give him some time. I don't know how much time, but they'll give him some time.
One thing, I want to just bring this up because I have several books here. I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. The Underground Girls of Kabul in Search of a Hidden Resistance in Afghanistan by Jenny Nordberg. And My Vanishing Country, a memoir by our own Bakari Sellers. What do they have in common? They were all removed from the shelves at the U.S. Naval Academy Library, along with 400 other books by Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. You know, you've probably read this, I would say.
So, like Jake, so I've got pretty strong feelings about this as the graduate of the United States Military Academy. The singular focus of our military academy is to fight and win America's wars. If you want to be a poet or a lover, you can go to Amherst, you can go to Bowdoin, you can go to Bates. There are plenty of places. You know what you should be reading at Naval Academy? Sun Tzu, Art of War. They should be reading On Naval Strategy by Alfred Mahan. They should be reading Jim Stavridis. We don't listen. Bakari's got a nice book. The students at the Naval Academy, and if you disagree, then the Chinese can just laugh as we study these things.
Listen, these are options. Okay, so these men and women can die
they can
for our
still, they can
country,
still read
but
it. They can still read it.
They're removed from the shelves. They're removed from the shelves. Listen, these men and women can die from our country, but they can't decide what they're going to read. I mean, and also let's be honest here, right? This is Trump 101. This is a distraction, plain and the markets are tanking. Let me finish. The markets are tanking. The markets are tanking. Yeah. Maya Angelou is not the problem. Elon Musk and Donald Trump are the problem.
Let me say, you don't think the resistance in Afghanistan is relevant to America's fighters?
I'll argue that Maya Angelou is not the problem. I agree with you there, but it's communist China is the problem. And I applaud President Trump, though, for focusing on
Maya Angelou is from communist China? How did we get there?
No, but President Trump is focusing on building our naval ships, on our submarines, which is what's needed.
He's focused on dictating
Jamal,
what
any thoughts? This is Bakari Sellers. It's autographed. This one's autographed.
Oh, that's right. It's autographed. It's autographed. Listen, I
don't have an issue with the book.
We actually do want military officers who are thinking broadly and thinking about the world. I went to school with a bunch of them, and when they go out into the world, they have to negotiate. Many of them are like diplomats when they land into a country, and we don't want them just being
Jamal, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong.
No, because there's not a State Department. There's not a State Department because you guys are cutting USAID, and so if we're going to be a strong power nation, that's all we're going to have.
You're misreading it.
But what we're witnessing right now is an informational ethnic cleansing.
Only one guy here went to the military academy. That's all I'm saying, Jake.
Leave Maya Angelou just like you should have left Dr. Seuss.